What's something you're glad your friend introduced you to? He introduced me to his closest friends, all really great people. Now we all have good times together and share so many things of mutual interest. It's really opened up my world in a way I hadn't previously thought possible. That's beautiful. The best gift anyone can get is new friends. Or maybe second best, a flamethrower would be pretty damn hard to beat. New music. It's always hard for me to figure out what I like, and they helped give me so much from the experiences I got out of it. Same. I don't have much musical culture, and thanks to them, I could discover some lesser known artists and new genres. Themselves. My friend introduced me to pineapples. Now I like pineapples more than my friends. Sleep. Seriously. I stayed up all night, had shitty sleep hygiene and poor mental health. We lived together for 6 months and she helped me get on a sleep routine. Changed my life. Edit. Many thanks, Anonymous. It's incredible just how much difference a decent sleep schedule can make. I haven't had to use an alarm in years now, and I always wake up at the same time, and don't feel like cheese. Not to mention just how much more productive during the day you can be. My wife. 37 years ago. I have a similar one. His wife. My girlfriend and his wife are now really good friends, and I love the fact we can do things as a group of 4. To clarify, I mean my friend's wife, not ops. Rock climbing. It's become my favorite form of exercise, not to mention how fun it is. Edit. For everyone asking, a rock climbing gym will have all the resources you need to get started if you don't have any climber friends. Oh my god, me too. And then through climbing I've met some of the most incredible people, not to mention how enjoyable and addictive it is. Reddit on second thought, I'm not so sure I'm happy about it. Yeah. Reddit can be a bitch sometimes. /that_Chicago_boy. Your comment made it into a Reddit video at 3:53. I feel like everything I like was introduced. I'm chiz at discovering things on my own. But I'll say sushi. I was always the guy who gave people the Karen stare because they ate raw food. Until one day my friend told me to shut up and just try a piece. Now I'm planning to gorge myself on sushi as soon as the lockdown ends. The fact that you can cook your eggs in your noodles while you're boiling them. My new technique is to undercook the noodles, crack the eggs into the pot, bring to high boil for a second, take off heat, cover, and let sit for 5 minutes. Perfection every time. How do you do it? The best thing I got out of my business and economics degree was when my friend gave me a John Mayer CD back in 2002. Literally the reason I started playing guitar. Now it's my career. Edit. Thanks so much to everyone for your encouragement. So many have asked about my music. I don't normally mention it on Reddit because it's pretty niche. I do original music for kids and families full time. Yes, influenced by John Mayer and Stephen Curtis Chapman. I know it won't be everyone's cup of tea as it's Christian themes, but if you got kids and want some uplifting music you can see a couple videos here. Then wallow. I love John Mayer. Are you a solo artist? How ain't you holding up our current situation? D&D. I would have never played otherwise, and it's so much fun. Same. For years, my friend from university suggested we play D&D during a weekend. Every time, I shot him down. Pretending to be an orc or an elf or a whatever the duck wasn't my idea of a good time. Then a couple of years ago someone I was dating introduced me to it, and it was dope. Kill some goblins, eat some cheese, drink some beers. I'm not sure if it was the fact that I was older or the fact that I'd finally got over myself a little bit, but I got way into it. Like a file of notes thicker than some novels into it. I finally got a chance to DM for the friend who'd kept pushing it all those years ago. We are at opposite ends of the country now, and it was incredibly fun, even with the 10,000 what I told you so grin he had the whole time. A friend of mine accidentally introduced me to the Hitachi magic wand when I was helping her move, and it dropped out of one of the boxes. She was entirely nonplussed. I think she laughed and said, "My baby." I was somewhat of a prude at the time and was suitably scandalized at her being so open about having sex toys, especially the kind that you had to actually plug in like a duck-in kitchen appliance. Yeah, that lasted all of 30 seconds after I bought one for myself on her later recommendation. Hoo boy. The cordless chargeable wand is a great upgrade. Settlers of Catan. My sister is notorious for buying people gifts they won't like, just to try and impose her own interests on other people. This time it actually worked. My husband and I have been playing a lot during the lockdown. Are you playing 2-player at home? If so, you might want to check out their online version, Catan Universe. You can play the base game for free with friends. I personally think the game is best with 4 people. Minecraft. I was mid-20s and they spent years trying to get me to play, but I thought it was a kid's game. I finally played one day and loved it so much that I spent the next 4 years way more into it than they ever were. There are just so many ways to play. You can treat it like a kid's game. You can play it like a kid. You can be an architect. You can be an engineer. Literally anyone can find something that interests them. My friend introduced me to the definition of narcissistic personality disorder. I was going through a lot with my family and constantly being gaslighted. She sent me articles all about it, and I never felt more relieved to know I wasn't insane, and I was actually being severely manipulated. I had a friend that taught me that too, but the roles in the story are reversed. My friend was constantly manipulating and gaslighting me and everyone that cared about him, and my family and other friends that actually treated me and everyone else with respect taught me that kind of behavior is not normal and helped me break ties with that person. But as they say, mistakes are okay as long as you learn from them. So in a way, I guess I'm grateful for that experience. Buying better clothes. I used to buy everything at Goodwill, even though I saved up enough money to spend it. Nothing matched and it didn't fit properly. Eventually my friend took me out, told me to take some pride in my looks, and bought me new clothes. Looking back, I looked like the definition of a poor virgin. Thanks Adam. Goodwill and thrift shops in general can have great stuff. You just have to be able to recognize quality. I got a $1,000 tuxedo for $9. Bloodborne. Username checks out. Honestly to myself, because I'm myself when in front of him, and I wouldn't have discovered myself if he wasn't my friend. Those are the greatest humans. Although I'd been a lifelong Stephen King fan, I had always avoided the Dark Tower series. A friend kept pushing me on them, insisting I would love them. Stephen King cowboys? No thanks. Finally he bought me the first 4 in a paperback gift set. Series is now one of my favorite reads of all time. I can't thank him enough for insisting. CAD work. Great series. I've been on book 4-5 for too long though. Got distracted by that lame thing called college. Hope to start it up again and finish it soon, now that I've graduated. Stardew Valley. It changed my perspective on a lot of things surprisingly, like turning children into doves. It can be productive. My friend very recently got me into the game, and I now have over 40 hours in the span of 2 busy weeks. It's taught me about what spending money to make money truly means. Spending 40k on blueberries and making 200k by the end of the month. Not putting sugar in my coffee. Dude, every time I try to drink coffee black I think alright, this is going to bitter as all ducking hell, and I'm going to be 100% prepared, and it won't be that bad. Then I take a sip and it's way more bitter than I expected. Then I say okay, it's pretty bitter, I know, the next sip can't be as bitter, and it still is. Anim was finally able to grow out a beard, but for some reason it's just growing around my neck. I got one of my friends into JoJo, and she loved it up until part 4, which made me sad, because 4 is one of my personal favorites. I got another friend into Watch E7 and that was a blast. I still wish E7 got a sequel. AO does not count. Happiness. I was deeply depressed and in a bad state until I met my now closest friends. After meeting them, I was able to finally get better, and I'm now in a place where I can be happy. Agreed. Sometimes happiness is just being around the right people. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Noiny noiny. D&D. After initially disliking it after my first session, I'm so glad I gave it another go. It's really helped me start getting creative with things again. Plus it's keeping us busy during quarantine. Our group just finished a campaign I joined on the tail end of, and I'm really excited to be part of the new long-term campaign from the very beginning. Wait, people are finishing campaigns? The Smashing Pumpkins. Before that, my taste in music and what I'll listen to was wholly dictated by my brother and his elitism. My friend really opened my mind, and I feel like when I first heard Today it was when I came of age. It really was the greatest day. I got introduced to Silvers and pickups because when I showed it to people they said it sounded like Smashing Pumpkins. Lol, just noticed they're both SP. Try giving them a listen. Nice birthday gifts. Before I met them, I'd never really gotten much birthday gifts. I've always been the kind of person that always gets close people birthday gifts, but my friends bought me a teddy bear for my birthday and came to my home to hide it in my cupboard after I left for school. Then later when they saw me at school, all four of them gave me stuff like earrings / rings / chokers and all that. Explosion boxes too with my pictures, their writings, our pictures together. Best friends I could ever ask for. I'm blessed. Ween. She just started jerking the ween. Harry Potter. I was in my 20s when the series was released. I figured that it was some dumb kid's books. He bought me the first 4 books. When I finally got around to reading them, I was hooked. My enjoyment has outlasted the friendship. I hope that he's doing well. I love dive bars. I used to go to them and read. I was reading the 4th book in a biker bar in northern Minnesota. There was a group of a dozen bikers, all wearing the same vest. The tall guy in the middle yelled over at me, "Hey, what are you reading?" I yelled back, "Tim, did you get to the part where, spoilers redacted?" And that is how I had a 15-minute conversation in a biker bar about Harry Potter, and received several free beers. I was a teen when the first Harry Potter movie came out, and I'd never heard of the books. I went to the movies with a friend who insisted on watching Harry Potter. I didn't want to see it because I thought it was a movie for little kids, but she convinced me, and I ended up loving it. As soon as we got home, I borrowed the first 4 books from her little sister, and I've been a Potterhead ever since. My girlfriend. Though to be honest, I'd probably try to meet her regardless of if I had someone to make the introduction. My husband. That was over 20 years ago. Is your husband's name Tech? League of Legends. 10 years later, and I still hop on weekly to get called a ducking piece of chisbron scrub that should kill myself. As you should. The concept that being gay is okay. Because of her, I'm no longer a homophobic ahot. Just a regular ahot. Progress. Harry Potter. Percy Jackson. They introduced me to these books and I have now became obsessed with them. Best thing they did after I met them. Rick Riordan just announced a new TV series in the works with Disney. He'll be heavily involved. I'm hopeful. Radiohead. A friend of mine in college introduced me to them more than a decade ago. I like to make music myself until today. I consider getting into their music as one of the most life-changing things that has ever happened to me. Board games. Too bad after I'm married and got my son we never hang anymore. I kinda miss spending a whole day playing board games with my friends. Just means family game nights aren't too far off, man. Magic the Gathering. I used to play when I was a kid and acquired a small collection. I haven't played for years and my cards sat in a box for well over a decade. Now my younger brother plays, and it was great watching him go through them with excitement. Turns out some of them have been reprinted and are worth a bit. He was particularly excited that I had a bunch of unglued basic lands, so I gave them to him. I'd never have had any of these if my friend in school hadn't played. I was introduced to MTG by old friends, and after I moved across country MTG introduced me to new friends. Still a cardboard crackhead years later. My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer. Before meeting my friend, I've never watched anime. Back in high school my best friend introduced me to anime. I can't say how good or bad that was, but well, here I'm now, turned into a weeb. Marijuana. I can't believe I had to scroll down this far for this answer. kayaking, scuba diving, cycling. Metallica. Oh hell yeah. I have my dad to thank for that one. Star Wars. Season 7 of the Clone Wars was ducking amazing. Thai food. My friend's parents had been stationed in Thailand for the Peace Corps. We went to a Thai restaurant and it blew my mind. There is a God and Easter and he wants us to be happy was all I could think after my first bite. I started living with my best friend cause we went to same city for college. She introduced my stubborn mind to accepting things I don't necessarily agree with. She taught me silently how to be a better listener, how to judge less. She taught me to enjoy silence and how meaningful silence can be. Only two people who are completely comfortable with each other can stand in silence and not be annoyed or uncomfortable. In return I taught her to stand up for what she believes, to be a better speaker. I showed her how fun the noise can be. I introduced her to my friends, cause she had just one beside me. A good friendship between two people who are complete opposites in everything they are and do can change both of your lives for better. Guitar. It's how I spend most days, forever grateful. Stephen King's books. He now is my favorite author by far. Came here to say this. I'm so amazed by him and how he can come up with so many different stories and the characters always feel so different to me. Leslie Sansone's walk at home workout. Super cheesy, I know, but it got me into other fitness and take my life back in control after years of low self-esteem, depression and emotional eating. That's awesome. I actually saw an old friend from 1989 on one of those fitness infomercials. She got her body transformed after holding on to pregnancy weight. Now she's a kicker trainer. If cheesy works, it works. US Office. Holy god, that show is fantastic. Every character is well written and the dynamics between the characters is brilliant. I searched and searched. I was sure I will find you. Yes, The Office. Pop and Japanese City. I like listening to it when I work out. Got down to 250. Was at 295. Red Velvet and Girls' Generation in particular. Tatsuro Yamachiza, Junko Yamaguchi, and Miria Takeuchi. Love Red Velvet's Psycho song. Self-companion. Bay. My friends play drums and guitar and they needed a bassist. I have never touched any instrument before and I didn't know anything about music, but they really wanted me in the band, so I tried it, and to this day I play hours and hours on my baby. It's the best thing ever. Fresh grounded pepper on pizza. Crushed red pepper on pizza friend. Doctor Who. Podcasts. I had listened to a few episodes of a metal show on my Zune HD years ago and thought the format was neat, like radio on demand. It wasn't until my friend recommended checking out a history podcast on Spotify years later that I really got into it. Now I listen to them daily, probably more than music. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. I'm glad my ex introduced me to my now wife. Minecraft. Sobriety. My friend introduced me to my wife. We had been friends for only a couple of months, but she was sure her friend and I would make a great couple. She was not wrong. Super Smash Bros. RuPaul's Drag Race. I did not understand the appeal, but once I sat down to watch it, I was hooked. Lemon Demon. Castlevania. Is it pronounced Lemon Demon or Lemon Demon? Rock climbing. 8 years later, and it has taught me so many valuable skills, mentally and physically, and given me so much. Some of the things climbing has given me, it has introduced me to competing in a sport, got me into training and fitness. I've met some of my best friends through climbing. I've been working in the industry for the last 3 years and that in itself has been an adventure. Plus outdoor climbing has allowed me to do some awesome trips and see some beautiful places I otherwise may not have traveled to. Climbing has truly shaped who I am and changed my life. I will always be a climber and can't see my life without climbing. You all should try it if you haven't already. Reddit. A blessing or a curse? EDM probably, and roller coasters. I don't get out much, but these things make me wanna get out of my comfort zone and do things. I have a hard time expressing myself and think that I ought to go to a EDM show and learn how to just enjoy music. I wanna go on roller coasters because I'm tired of my life and I never take chances. And it would be good for me to do something even mildly exciting. Anim back in 93. R.I.P. Eric. Anim. Final Fantasy. My career. I hated my old job, landscaping, and he got me in at the company he worked for as a network technician. 7 years later both of our pay rates have doubled, and we are still partners at our third company together. Her boobs. Nice. Rick and Morty. Pokémon. Radiohead. When I was a teenager my best friend played me Pablo Honey and blew my mind. He's since passed away, but I think about him every time I'll listen to Radiohead. My best friend has a deep appreciation for nature. I can't quite explain it, but she just always sees beauty in everything. We'll be talking, and suddenly she'll gasp and say, PM_me_statistics. Do you see this flower? Ugh, it's so beautiful. Haha. Her joy and her ability to see beauty in everything is something I've slowly adopted by being around her so much. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Same. League of Legends. Now I spend all my free time getting verbally abused by angry 12-year-olds in a video game. Okay, maybe I'm not so glad I changed my answer. Dark mode on FB Messenger and other apps, and Belgian waffles. Running. Hated it my whole childhood. Could barely run to the end of the road. Bestie signed me up to a half marathon. I was about 19 over 20 yo. Now mid 30s and am still running. Even done a few ultras. Pink Floyd. Same for me. First few times I really listened to them outside of their big songs. Another Brick in the Wall, Money etc. blew my ducking mind. If I can say any music has changed my life, it would probably be Animals and Wish You Were Here. Veganism. Good. Boku no Pico. Are a man of culture. Oh my, you watched until the end? That's ducking awesome dude. Thanks for watching.